You might have noticed that there are now programs that allow you to digitally alter your appearance in videos. This is everything from changing where your eye line is, so if you're reading a script off to the side, it will snap that right back to the camera to make it look like you're speaking directly to the camera, to things that are more major than this. But what are the legal implications of this, particularly in the copyright protection of the content we're creating? Let's talk to everybody's favorite IP and entertainment lawyer, Tony, to find out more.
My name is Tony Iliakostas. I'm an adjunct professor of entertainment law and IP at New York Law School, and I have an Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok account called The IP Professor that is dedicated to all things intellectual property.
Let's talk about the legal side of altering our appearances in videos using artificial intelligence. Recently, I did a video with Descript where we talked about how you can be looking off camera and they will redirect your gaze to look at the camera, altering where your eye location is pointed at. But we know that there are other ways to alter our appearances as well. So, from a legal perspective, what do we need to know?
So I think the main question that we should be asking in a situation like this is, would the revision of a video, let's say formatting to maybe show some type of touch up or whatever other editing would go into it, would that be enough to still keep the general copyright protected under that sort of scope of thinking? I would actually venture to say that that's likely to be okay. I don't see it as any different as, like, let's say changing the color grade of a video, or if, let's say, you're on Final Cut or Adobe Premiere, you adjust the contrast or brightness or saturation a little bit. I think at the end of the day, when you use software like, let's say, Descript, or let's say some other third-party software that uses some type of AI-based technology to do some general touch-ups, I think the touch-up aspect of it is no different than if you were using another software and treating it as a tool to do that color correction. Because at the end of the day, you didn't use the AI to make the video. You still made the video. You're the one that props the camera, you touch the shutter, you activate the recording. You are the copyright owner of that work. The modifications that come with it, I think, are so minimal that it's not the kind of thing that's going to supersede the general thought of substantial human involvement not existing. And for anybody that's kind of out of context or not aware of what I'm talking about, obviously we've talked about this in previous videos, but the position by the Copyright Office is that a copyrighted work will only receive full-fledged copyright protection if there has been substantial human involvement, meaning that it was authored by a human. And we have the monumental case from a few weeks ago from the DC District Court, where they ruled that anything that was generated using artificial intelligence will not receive copyright protection, precisely because of the fact that it lacks human authorship. There was no substantial human involvement in that generative AI piece of work. I think that that's a non-existent, factor here. I think that's kind of moot in the question you're posing, KM. So at the end of the day, I think in a fact pattern of that sort, using software or AI in that manner, I think should be viewed as a tool. At the end of the day, you still made the video. That's still you talking. You still press the shutter button. I think that that's a strong copyright. The little tools you use to revise it, to color grade it, or make it a bit brighter, darker, make the appearance a bit more clean. That's no different than if you were to just go into a video editing software and touch it up there. It's all the same thing.
And this actually goes back to an earlier conversation that we had where we discussed using AI with photos and Photoshop and all sorts of things with that. We have those videos. We will link them in the playlist down below. So if you are creating content and then refining it, tweaking it, whether it is video, photos, imagery, etc., we've got the full breakdown for you with Tony in our playlist. And as new functionalities, new programs continue to roll out, we'll be bringing you breaking news and tutorials on how to use these to save your time and effort and energy in your content creation. If you've got questions, now is the time to drop those below. And as always, Tony is coming back for upcoming episodes, so get your legal questions in for us. And you can always reach out to Tony on his social media. Tony, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at the IP Professor. And you can check out my entertainment law podcast called Unseen. New episodes drop every Friday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Follow along and drop your questions about AI and entrepreneurship down below. I'll be answering your questions, and Tony is coming back to answer your questions from a legal perspective as well. And we're dropping daily videos to help you navigate the world of entrepreneurship to make this your most profitable year ever, so that you can build luxury time into your business and not be hands-on in your business every minute of every day, but have it work on your behalf and and make you money while you are on vacation, traveling, sleeping, etc.? So drop those questions down below and we'll see you in the next episode.